Hey gang, it's Chris from Acoustics here at CEDIA EXPO 2025 outside the Theory audio booth. And we're going to check out the new speakers from Theory this year. See what tricks Paul Hales has up his sleeves this year. Check it out.
Okay, so welcome to CEDIA 2025. When I first prepared the PowerPoint for the this year's demo, I wanted to call it "You're All Doing It Wrong." And then my sales and marketing team yelled at me and said, apparently, I don't know, offending all your prospective customers right out of the gate's not a good strategy, apparently. So I renamed it Who Moved My Cheese? Okay, so hopefully you know that reference. If you don't know that reference, ask a neighbor. We'll do some housekeeping. We're introducing no less than 14 new products here at CEDIA 2025. We've got 8 new sound reinforcement products, which you can see some of them here. They're all in the booth upstairs. 4 full range models with 4 subwoofers, starting with that double 12-inch compact guy there, going up to the very big double 21s that you'll hear later. We've got a new loudspeaker controller platform based on PowerSoft technology, so 4 new models, 2 4-channel models, 2 8-channel models, and 1 U. They have Dante and AS67 built in, and all in 1 U and full power sharing, okay? So the power can go to any one of the 8 channels that it needs to go to, so fantastic for surround sound. As the jet's flying around, the power just goes to whatever speaker needs it, right? We're also going to be playing the SB210AW. We previewed this last year. They're in the corners here, like the SB25AW. It's available in white and black, very shallow, only 4.8 inches deep. Can go inside, go outside, and it actually looks like a rectangle, but it's got conical coverage, okay? So it's got the same kind of coverage as a ceiling speaker, so you can use them in landscape mode like this, and everybody gets the same great sound, okay? So, also the IC5, along the way to the little brother, the IC6, is on the water and heading towards our Las Vegas warehouse. So those will be in the warehouse next month. Anybody know what the worst possible room shape for audio is? Cube, actually, right? Yeah. So X by X by X. Okay, anybody know what the second worst shape for audio is? Half a cube, right? So X by X by 1/2 X. In this situation, all the axial standing waves occur at the same frequencies except for one, that half direction, right? Second worst possible shape. So that's not good. So thank you, CEDIA, for giving us the second worst possible shape to do audio demonstrations in. This is 30 by 30 by 15, okay? So keep that in mind. But the show must go on, right? This is the demo room we were dealt, so we're going to make it work. So there are 36 loudspeakers in the room of 12 different models. However, it's really only 8 different models, and I'll explain how 12 pairs down to 8 as we go along. Grouped into 11 systems. So I'm going to play 11 systems for you, okay? The way it's going to work is I'm going to show you on the screen what's playing. I'm going to tell you with my mouth what's playing. Chris in the back of the room is going to illuminate what's playing. Then, of course, you're going to hear what's playing, and then your brain is going to go, there's no way all that sound is coming out of only that, right? And then we're going to do that 10 more times, okay? And we're only using stereo, except for the very end where you see a video on the screen. If you see the PowerPoint, it's only stereo. You're going to feel like it's immersive audio and surround sound. It's not. Stereo from Tidal on my iPad, okay? So hopefully by the time we're done, we will have moved your cheese, okay? So everything's being powered by our DLC loudspeaker controllers. We're introducing a new model here at the show, a 1500.8. That's 8 by 800 in 2U, or 4 by 1500. Some of the models with the D at the end have Dante and AS67 built in. So those are based on the Pascal platform. Many other companies have adopted that platform, okay? Sonance just bought Blaze. That is that platform. Only Theory of the many manufacturers that have the platform have innovated anything. And we have extra DSP objects in the signal path that allow us to use our Automator software. Anybody used Automator before? It lets you deploy a surround sound system in about 10 minutes with only a tape measure. You don't need a microphone, you don't need Odyssey, you don't need Dirac, you don't need any of that. We set the levels, delays, bass management, all the signal routing, all the amplifier bridging with just a tape measure, and then you can move on to the next project. So even a junior tech could do it. So only this works on our DLC platform or any of the Pascal platform amps, okay? So here we go. We're going to start with just two 6-inch in ceiling loudspeakers, the IC6, no subwoofer. You might ask yourself, why would you, in a room of this size, play just two ceiling speakers? That doesn't make any sense. And I'm about to show you why you would do that. Unfortunately, they're loud next door right now. Just the two ceiling speakers, no subwoofer.
Against my window, sweet, 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 sweet memories.
Okay, I'm going to kick it up one notch by adding in two IWS 12-9 subwoofers right here in front, these two little guys. So the same 6-inch ceiling speakers, and we've just added in the subs.
Against my window, sweet, 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 sweet memories.
Okay, that was a trick. Alright, I just tricked you. That wasn't the IC6 in ceiling loudspeakers and the two subs. That was actually the IC5 in ceiling loudspeaker with the two subs. Okay, so the little brother. Wow, you guys are a stoic group here. Wake up, people. That was a good trick, and you guys just sat there like, what? So that little guy there, right? Those will be in the warehouse next month. So now we're going to show Pro a little love. We're going to play the SR2408 in-wall loudspeaker. This was developed for an $800 million yacht. They were putting a DCI digital cinema room on the yacht. Had no real estate, no depth, so we spun up this speaker. You can get it in the direct version like this, that's the axis is this way, or a version that has the main axis at 40 degrees, so you can mount it in the sidewall and aim it back to the listening chair. So this is just the two in-wall speakers by themselves, no sub or anything, and it's kind of cool because they make the plants dance. The ports work pretty hard and they make the plants dance.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever.
Right, now I'm going to kick it up a notch by adding back in the two little IWS 12 subwoofers. So the same two speakers, just the subs, and this is a stereo signal. This is not surround sound. So just the two pendants that are in the middle of the room here. As the name implies, the IC6 pendant is the IC6 in ceiling speaker mounted in a pendant housing. Okay, so you get the ceiling speaker, you buy the accessory housing, you mount it in, and 60 seconds later you have a hangable loudspeaker. Okay, so now maybe you can understand how we go from 12 unique models down to 8 because now this one's already appeared twice. Okay, same two subs, just the two pendants over your head in the middle.
I'll be your torch, your light, your umbrella.
Okay, remember that same sound could be had from two ceiling speakers and the sub in a stereo zone in the house. All right, we're gonna stay over your head. We're gonna go up here to two SB25 AWs on the front truss. There are two more just like them in the back. Very compact, only 3.8 inches deep, buildable in white and black. Can go inside, can go outside. Has a 70-volt transformer built in. So the four things in the same, the four SB25 AWs and the same two subwoofers.
Paul, what's the power of these amplifiers?
Which ones?
The two that you're using there, the 250 and the 1500.
So the 1500.4 is 4 times 800, and the little guy, the little half rack, is 4 times 125. And so we're only using 125 watts into each one of those.
Gotcha.
But you'll see what that can get you.
Against my window, sweet, 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 sweet memory.
Yeah, this is just stereo. It's going to be atmospheric, but it's just. Turning it up a little bit, it's going to get louder, so you've been warned. I don't want anybody whining at the end or whatever. We thought, what would happen if you took this very capable pendant loudspeaker and paired it with a sound reinforcement style subwoofer? What could you do with that? Well, I'm about to show you what you can do with that. So now it's all 6 pendants, and then the one 215 LF right here in the middle of the front. folks right in the middle of the room. This will be kind of fun. So we'll play it, and then we'll tell you what you've been listening to after.
I like the way you're a little shy. I like the way you undress me and smile. These are the days that we meet, and it's been quite a while. Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hot to bear. You give me.
Okay, so you of course were listening to the landscape product, okay? So that was the IC6 Ballard landscape full range loudspeaker paired with the IWS 12 Ballard subwoofer. So as the name implies, the IC6 Ballard loudspeaker is the IC6 in-ceiling loudspeaker, is the IC6 loudspeaker mounted in a Ballard housing. Okay, so now that speaker's appeared 3 times in the room, right? Same with the subwoofer. The IWS 12-9 is the same subwoofer as the Ballard. So you buy the transducer separate, and you have 3 enclosures to choose from. The surface mount enclosure here needs to go outside, the Ballard enclosure, or there's an in-wall enclosure that can be flushed into a 2x6 wall. All right, now we're going to play the 4 SB210 AWs in the corners of the room here. This is like the SB25s that you heard earlier on steroids. SB210 AWs. SB210 AWs. All right, I've confused my lighting designer. Don't like me, like the speakers. All right, so 4 of those, and then the 2 big boy double 21-inch subs. So hold on to your butts for this one.
I like the way you're a little shy. I like the way you undress me and smile. These are the days that we meet, and it's been quite a while.
Okay, moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about the SR 112.2. That's this guy here. If you guys are familiar with the Pro line, this is very similar to an SR 12 SM in the Pro brand. We can paint these any color. They can go inside or outside, and they're built in the U.S. actually. So these are the measurements for the 112.2. We are publishing the most extensive data of any loudspeaker brand that we're aware of in any product category. So this is just some examples. If you go to the website, you'll see extensive measurements for every loudspeaker. So that when we say a speaker is an 80 by 60 speaker, we mean it. That's 80 degrees on the top, horizontal coverage. That's 60 degrees down there. This is the CEA 2034 spinorama you may have heard of, or whatever. And so now with the subject of measurements, I'm going to pick on so-called line source speakers, okay? So there are brands upstairs that are selling you sort of line source theory, right? Their speakers don't adhere to that theory, okay? So at any normal listening distance, those companies upstairs making line sources, the speaker doesn't behave like a line source. If you have a 6 foot tall speaker, if you're any farther away than 6 feet from the speaker, it's just a big point source speaker with really horrendous vertical directivity, right? So if you were 2 feet from the 6 foot speaker, it would be a line source, okay? But show of hands, who has clients that listen to their speakers 2 feet away? Anyone?
Maybe at their desk. But you're
Yeah,
not putting
but
those
you wouldn't
there.
have a 6 foot speaker on your desk, right? So you don't have to take my word for it. Ask them for data that proves that their speakers behave as line sources where people actually sit, okay? They won't be able to do it because they can't, because it doesn't happen, okay? So now we're going to play the two 112.2s with the same double 21-inch subs. This is just a stereo system. Again, it looks like it's for live sound, and it is in fact for live sound, but these are fantastic for dedicated private screening rooms, home theater, right? So again, this is just stereo content, no surround sound at all.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to move on. We're a little bit behind schedule. So now we're going to play one surround sound clip for you using all the same products. So the SB210 AW is in the corners, along with this one up above in the landscape layout. So this speaker has conical coverage. It looks like a rectangle, but it throws a perfect cone of sound. So when it's landscaped like that above or below a video wall, everyone in the side to side gets the same great sound, okay? The pendants are going to serve as Atmos channels, and the landscape speakers are going to be the side channels. I'm going to kill a few people. I'm not going to play it very long. It's a very violent scene, but then we will wrap up and get you guys out of here. Okay, I think you guys get the gist, right? So, for some perspective, let's let our video resync here. So for some perspective, I think upstairs there's at least $1 million surround system upstairs, right? There usually is one or maybe even two. Does anybody know if there's more than two, more than one? Okay, so for context, that system you just heard, for all the loudspeakers, all the amplifiers, including a surround processor and the Kaleidoscape, is $83,000 US retail price, okay? So what you need to do is spend $83,000 on this system, and then take the $917,000 left over and buy a house to put it in, okay? So is anybody curious to see what a $1 million theory system looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a 5,000 square foot on 2 acres lakefront property in Alabama, and you get the theater system, okay? So let that sink in for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
For the same price, you get a house, okay? All right, so I did all that with only 8 loudspeaker models, okay? Every application, indoor, outdoor, sound reinforcement, distributed audio, all that stuff, right? So we can do residential music systems, we can do residential surround sound, we can do residential distributed audio, outdoor, architectural, and outdoor landscape. We can do commercial background music, we can do commercial foreground music, we can do commercial outdoor architectural and outdoor landscape. We can do sound reinforcement, portable sound reinforcement, as well as installed sound reinforcement. We can do all the stuff on marine as well, okay? So all this stuff is weather resistant. From a pair of ceiling speakers, 5-inch ceiling speakers, to what you just heard with just 8 products, okay? That's what Theory's here to do. You don't need to choose from 200. So if you're not getting that scope, the scale, the sound quality, with no EQ, there's no system EQ in this room, along with a free house, okay, you're doing it wrong, okay? So you don't have to do it wrong. It's easy to do it right. Just use Theory, and this is the results you get, okay? That's what we're here to do. So that's who we are. Go see us up in booth 2933. We're kind of right by Screen Innovations and Origin right there. And all these products are up there. All the new models are up there. You can see them up close. Go to theoryprofessional.com. We want to thank Jupiter for loaning us this very cool widescreen display. Craig from Jupiter is outside the doors there if you want to ask some questions. Thank you to Storm for providing the surround processor that did all the switching. That's us. I got to go because I got to get your butts out so we can get different butts in here. Thank you. Woo!